So, Caitlin Clark here. Obviously, a big player in the WNBA, and obviously the face of the damn WNBA. But in this video today, we're going to be talking about something, and it's going to be something that I think it's just mad. Like, we know she sells out basketball venues. Like, that's a given. We all know that happens. Caitlin Clark sells out basically any basketball venue that she sets foot in. And not only that, we have now got Caitlin Clark selling out something that isn't basketball. And you know the way I've always said, like, Caitlin Clark could sell out. If Caitlin Clark just had a shoot around, she could sell out. Caitlin Clark has sold out. I'm not joking when I say this. She has sold out a Women in Business conference has now sold out with her as a keynote speaker.
Caitlin Clark just delivered an incredible performance, but instead of celebrating her talent, the WNBA and some media voices are finding ways to ignore it, downplay it, or even poke fun at her. But why? Why would a league that's clearly in need of more fans and money seem so unwilling to embrace its biggest star? The truth might be more uncomfortable than expected. The WNBA doesn't seem to want success, unless it fits a specific mold. And if it doesn't, they're not interested.
Clark, step back three, knocks it down! Of that run to the finals before the Liberty fell to the three.
Just for that reason, they're too deadly from behind the arc.
An 11-0 run for New York. Clark, she got it up.
Caitlin Clark is doing what no rookie in WNBA history has done before. She's breaking attendance records, drawing in millions of new viewers, and making the league more popular than ever. So how does the WNBA respond? Do they celebrate her? Do they showcase her as the face of a league that's been struggling to stay relevant? Nope. Instead, they downplay her. They roll their eyes. They treat her success like it's a problem, something that doesn't fit their preferred story. The moment she breaks a record, the criticism rolls in. She shoots too much. She's not efficient enough. She's getting too much attention. Funny how that works, because when other players have similar struggles, the media praises them as pioneers. But when Caitlin dominates, suddenly it's an issue. So it makes you wonder, who is the WNBA really trying to promote? The ones who perform, or the ones they personally favor? Because right now, it looks less like they're focused on growing the game, and more like they're trying to control the story.
Got two in the first quarter against Connecticut.
Clark connects on a three. Connecticut, an early 9-point. Bonner gets denied by Boston. Wheeler finds Clark. Points of 9 of 13 shooting.
And 12 assists now for Seattle.
Clark answers, and that is the first trip.
Let's be honest, the WNBA has a real problem with success. This isn't a league built on self-sufficiency. It depends on financial support from the NBA just to keep going. Yet many of its players want the perks and lifestyle of NBA stars, without bringing in the money to back it up. It's a tough truth, but it's one we can't ignore. The WNBA has been around since 1997. And even in its most talked about season ever, thanks to Caitlin Clark, it still lost $40 million. Let that sink in. Even with record crowds, the most watched games, and the most high-profile player the league has ever had, they couldn't make a profit. That's like hitting the jackpot and still ending up broke, because you just can't stop overspending.
It works both ways. It works always. A lot of little girls from Dallas now that got brought into the game recently because of the boom, because of it's now trendy. The WNBA is now trendy, so there's a lot of parents bringing their kids. A lot of parents that got into the WNBA through Caitlin Clark might live in these other cities, bringing their young daughters to games in other cities. And you're seeing how many young girls are fans of Enrique, how many young girls are fans of Angel, how many young girls are fans of Sabrina, of Asia from Vegas. Like, it's a really good thing. Obviously, look, this whole thing really did kickstart from Caitlin Clark, and that's fine. But it's an objective good thing. It's fine that she has the most fans. It's fine that she has the most fans, because everyone has more fans.
Girls with their parents and the fervor and the energy there.
Why her?
Same thing.
Why her?
Well, I was
Because she shoots the ball from 40 feet.
just about to say same thing for Angel Reese when I had a chance to cover their games. But I think Caitlin represented And again, some of this to me probably is not fair to her because it was not anything that she said or was truly based on her personality, but she was a white.
This is a league that's constantly asking for more fans and more attention. Now that they finally have it, thanks to Caitlyn, you'd think they'd be thrilled. But no, they act like it's a burden. Instead of supporting what's clearly working, many in the league respond with resentment. Look at how the NBA handled things when LeBron James passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on the all-time scoring list. It was a massive celebration. Non-stop coverage. A historic moment shared by the entire sports world. Now compare that to how Caitlyn Clark is treated when she breaks records. Instead of applause, she gets shrugged off. Who cares, seems to be the attitude. The double standard is obvious, and it's frustrating. Even worse, some WNBA players have been openly hostile toward her, as if her success somehow takes away from theirs. When Stephen Curry changed the game with the three-point shot, other players didn't tear him down. They studied him, adapted, and improved. But in the WNBA, when Caitlyn brings in millions of fans and real money, she's met with resentment instead of respect.
That I love that she's bringing to her sport.
Caitlyn Clark.
Yeah. More people want to watch.
There you go.
More people want to tune in. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it fucked up. Caitlyn Clark is the reason why a lot of great things is going to happen for the WNBA.
Dude, good for you, LeBron.
But for her individually, I don't think she should get involved on nothing that's being said. Just go have fun, enjoy. You know, but I'm rooting for Caitlyn because I've been in that seat before. I've walked that road before. I hope she kills.
You can pause it right here. Listen, gotta give him credit. Awesome. Good for you, bro, for saying something like that. Yes. The fact that, because, you know, he knows what it's like to come in, and from the moment you're getting all that criticism, he relates to him from that side. But I'm glad he didn't use any race baiting card and say anything like that.
I thought that's what was going to happen.
I'm actually impressed with the position he took.
This is why I love comedy.
And that's the real tragedy. The WNBA says it wants more fans, more money, and more respect. But when someone finally delivers all of that, they push it away, because the truth is, they don't actually want to grow. They'd rather complain. They don't want to evolve. They just want more handed to them for doing what they've always done.
Funniest things about this. Like, I mean this. One of the funniest things about all of this is that, like, one of her biggest business decisions was a fumble. It was a major fumble in Nike. But these are great gigs, not time-consuming, likely very lucrative in a position as a person of influence for both now and the future. I would say they are very lucrative. As far as I'm aware, for a half an hour of Caitlyn Clark's time over Zoom, it's like 50k. And it's like 100k minimum for her to show up somewhere. And you would be thinking, if she's showing up outside of Indiana, you would think that it's going to cost her a couple of $100,000. It's going to cost a couple of $100,000. Like, it is... Like, it's very, very interesting. It'd be very interesting to see what is just all around going to happen when it comes to Caitlyn Clark, some of the business stuff. But, like, this looks like somebody just sold a house. Not wrong. Does that say sold out?
Here's the hard truth. The WNBA is holding itself back. Instead of supporting Caitlyn Clark, they're undercutting their biggest star, sending the message that they'd rather be a social club than a serious professional league. The NBA didn't become a global success by tearing down its top players. It lifted them up. It built the league around them, but the WNBA? It seems more focused on turning success into a problem than using it to move forward.
Turns, ducks in. Benley stays with her. Blocked from behind. That was Clark. Clark looking to push. Cross-court pass. Full. Back to Clark. She will. Hey, Clark finds some space and hits a three. Clark over Horston. Hits a three.
You're passing, but Indiana's got to stop letting the ball get into the paint. They've got to keep it out.
Clark, step back. Hits a three.
Defensive board or a turnover and push pace the other.
On a deep three.
Around women's basketball, they understand their impact and what it has done and how they are living out their dreams today.
And right on cue, Clark.
It's been the second three just below the logo. Drills it. Clark pulls off that screen, knocks it down even. Clark.
But here's the thing. Caitlyn Clark is once again making history. She's breaking records, electrifying fans, and, yep, sending her critics into a complete meltdown. Instead of celebrating her remarkable achievements, the WNBA and its media critics are finding new ways to downplay, dismiss, and even mock her success. But why? Why does the WNBA, a league that's desperate for attention and revenue, seem to resent its biggest star? The answer is deeper than you might think. The real issue is that the WNBA doesn't want success, unless it fits their exact vision of what success should look like. Caitlin Clark has done what no rookie in WNBA history has ever done. She's breaking attendance records, drawing in millions of new viewers, and making the league more relevant than ever. So how does the WNBA respond? Do they elevate her? Do they push her as the face of the league? No. Instead, they roll their eyes. They downplay her. They act like her accomplishments are an inconvenience, like a disruption to the story they've already written.
Boston, who also has a 15-5-5 game today. Here's Clark, catch, fire, and connect.
11 wins, all of last winning record.
Clark from way downtown and knocks it down.
They've scored 10 points off of 6 Fever turnovers. That's really the difference in the game.
The moment Caitlin Clark breaks a record, the critics waste no time tearing it down. She shoots too much. She's not efficient. She's getting too much attention. It's odd, right? Because when other WNBA players struggle with efficiency, the media praises them as pioneers. But when Caitlin excels, suddenly her success becomes a problem. It makes you wonder, who is the WNBA really trying to promote? The players who win, or the ones they personally prefer? Because at this point, it seems like they are more focused on controlling the narrative than actually growing the sport.
Put it together, they bring the energy, they take care of their home court as you would expect.
Coach Bluter said normally you don't want that midweek bye after it is Hake. Earns a 3-point play here late.
You know, and you have to give a lot of credit to Nebraska, too, for the way they have battled against this team. This is one of the toughest environments in
27-18.
Hey, I have to really appreciate the courage of that young girl right there. Like, this is my opportunity. I am sitting right behind. Just going to go ahead and ask. I'm going to shoot my shot.
Also, that post.
Not the proper protocol to ask Caitlin Clark right at this moment, but they are ready.
How huge of...
Let's be clear, the WNBA has a problem with success. This league doesn't strive for independence, it relies on NBA subsidies to survive. Yet many of its players want to live like NBA stars, even though they aren't bringing in the revenue to support it. The reality is tough, but it's the truth. The WNBA has been around since 1997. And even during its biggest season ever, thanks to Caitlin Clark, it still lost $40 million. Think about that. With their highest attendance, their most watched games, and the most talked about player in history, they still couldn't turn a profit. It's like winning the lottery and still going broke, because you just can't stop overspending.
Clark to switch on to Dolson, steps back and buries a triple. Indiana has numbers here. Clark looks to take advantage. Clark launches and hits a 3. 3 minutes left to play and can do a race. Here's Clark, catch and shoot. Hits a 3.
She knows how to use her body and get to her spots, being able to affect that.
Clark is coming off a masterful night and starts us off strong here.
Hit it! Today, with plantar fasciitis, but her team is beating Indiana, and that's
all right. They called it on Howard, her second. If anything, I thought maybe Kalani Brown might have been whistled for something after a rough start. Clark, a little bit of daylight.
Indiana with the 4th fastest pace.
Instead of focusing on building a solid, profitable business model, many in the WNBA feel threatened. They're not upset that Caitlin Clark is making history, they're upset that it's her and not someone else. This is a league that's always begging for more viewers and attention. Now that they finally have a reason for people to tune in, thanks to Caitlin, they act like it's a chore. Rather than invest in what's working, they double down on bitterness. When Stephen Curry changed the game with the 3-point shot, players didn't tear him down. They adapted, learned from him, and grew. But when Caitlin Clark brings millions of eyes and dollars to the league, her own colleagues resent her for it, and that's the tragic irony. The WNBA says it wants more viewers, more revenue, and more respect. But when someone actually brings all of that to the table, they push it away. The truth is, they don't want to grow, they want to complain. They don't want change, they want more for doing the same. Here's the harsh truth, the WNBA is standing in its own way. Instead of embracing Caitlin Clark, they're undermining their biggest star, showing they'd rather be a glorified social club than a serious sports league. The NBA didn't become a global powerhouse by tearing down its superstars. It embraced them. It was built around them, but the WNBA? They're too busy finding ways to make success seem like a problem. Despite all the criticism from the media and former players, despite analysts lining up to take shots at her, Caitlin Clark has broken more WNBA records in her rookie season than most veterans do in their entire careers. And she did it even after a slow start to the season. When she stepped onto the court, the pressure was enormous. The expectations were sky high, and the hate was louder than ever. People said she wouldn't make it. They said she'd struggle. For a brief moment, when she was adjusting to the league's speed and physicality, her critics thought they were right, but then something happened. She adapted.
A long embrace and some kind words for her after the game of the handshake line. Just wondering if you wanted to share what those were.
Well, there's not a whole lot of strategy. You got to guard her. Nobody else seems to be able to guard her. We didn't even guard her last year when we beat them. She's just a generational player, and she just makes everybody around her better. That's what the great ones do. I think they had a kid that scored 21 and 18. She had 12 assists. Caitlin Clark's not going to beat you by herself. It's what she does to make those other teammates better that helps her score points and them score points to beat you. What did I say to her? I said, I sure am glad you leaving. I said, girl, you something else. Never seen anything like it.
She started lighting up the scoreboard. She began threading impossible passes. She turned into a walking highlight reel. Game after game, she made the doubters eat their words, one shot, one assist, one breathtaking moment at a time. But the media, they won't let up. Even as Caitlin drags her team into the spotlight, fills the stands, and carries the league on her back, the hate keeps coming. But Caitlin Clark doesn't need to respond with words. She's better off letting her game do the talking.
And now with 22 seconds to go, here's Clark off the screen. The three-pointer is good.
That's going to be what, if they can get back into this game, it's going to be grabbing those boards, getting some second chance opportunities.
Clark gets put to a spot. He can't knock it down from up top. Tries it again from a different spot. That one connects. She still is trying to stay connected against Kelsey Mitchell.
Not shooting the three.
Over that left shoulder. Austin had her 11th double-double of the season, and Clark hit. Well, both of Lexi Holt. And here is Clark wide open.